Hey friends, it's Steph at Steph Read Run. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am so excited that you're here. Welcome to my little booktube channel. I'm very small and I like to talk about books, and yeah, I'm just so excited to be here. Today I'm going to talk about some more books that I'm really excited to read this fall. We've got our fall candle lit, we've got our blankets, it's a beautiful, somewhat cool day out here, so we're going to just talk about fall. I guess we'll get started. The first book I want to say that I'm excited to read, which I've actually already started, is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And if you guys have not checked her channel out, Reagan at Ray Reads just posted a big like tier ranking video of Colleen Hoover, and this actually made me think. I was like, man, I haven't picked up a Colleen Hoover book in a while, and I've only read a couple of hers. I've read Ugly Love and I've read Maybe Someday, and I loved both of those books. I'm like, why did I not continue reading more Colleen Hoover books? Her books are usually romance, and they are very emotional, very intense, but also just amazing to read. I mean, I will blow through her books in like a day or two. So I am picking up It Ends With Us. I've heard that this is a very intense book, very emotional, a lot of heavy topics, but a good romance. So I don't know, it just kind of appealed to me, and I'm reading it because Reagan told me to. The next book I'm really excited to pick up, The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I read Final Girls last month and really liked it. Riley Sager's books are all over BookTube, obviously for good reason. I've heard they're great. I have all of his books and I'm ready to read them. This is about Emma, who goes to a Camp Nightingale as a child, and then I guess she's with other girlfriends of hers and they leave the cabin and they never return. And this book picks up years after that, and the woman who owns the camp asks her to come back and like teach, I think, art at the camp. So she has to like go back to this cabin where her friends like just mysteriously disappeared. And I'm sure it gets weird and creepy and intense. You know, pretty excited about it. To change it up, I think I'm gonna pick up a YA fantasy soon because I'm feeling YA fantasy. And I think I'm gonna pick up Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. This again has been on my shelf for a very long time. I picked this up probably back when it came out, I think a couple years ago. And I've heard that this series is really good. There's good romance, the world building is great, something witchy in the fall is always a good option. I'm excited. I have a couple other YA fantasies on my pile for the fall. I've just been feeling fantasy, and I think this is a good place to start. Next book that I'm really excited to read this season is No Exit by Taylor Adams. I've heard this is a great fast-paced suspense novel about a girl who is on a road trip home or something, and the weather is really bad, so she's forced to like stay at a truck stop overnight. And while she's there, she notices a child in the back of a parked van that's locked like in an animal crate. And that just sounds terrifying, and like I can't even imagine what I would do if I came across something like that. So this is, I think, gonna be a really fast-paced read. I've heard good things about it, and I can't wait to dive into this. And the next book I think I want to try and pick up this season is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book has kind of been gaining momentum on BookTube. I have not read a ton of Jennifer L. Armentrout. All I know about this book is that it's like a slow burn romance vampire fantasy novel. I've never read like true fantasy romance. I've read romance and I've read fantasy. I've never really delved into the fantasy romance genre. So I'm really interested, and I know Jennifer L. Armentrout is like a veteran in this genre, and she has pumped out so many books. Heard great things. I've heard the series is continuing and it's getting really intense. So yeah, it's a thick one. This is gonna be a commitment, but I think I'm really excited about it. The next book that I am excited to pick up this season is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I don't know a ton about this book. I think it's like a dark academia, theater, kids mystery. I think there's like somebody dead, and obviously you find out, and then the story goes on from there. I don't like to read a ton of the synopsis of a mystery thriller novel. I like just like the surface level information, and then I like to dive in just to see what happens, truly. I've heard great things. My sister actually recommended this to me, and yeah, also all the dark and spooky mystery books this season. Can't wait. The next book that I am excited to pick up for the fall is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. This is a debut novel, a YA, I think a new series or duology, and this is about like a magical, they call it the Conquering Circus, where a city covered in ice and ruin, a group of magicians face off in a daring game of magical feats to find the next headliner of the Conquering Circus. And that sounds mysterious and magical and dark and twisty, and I think this is gonna be really good. I want to say this was probably one of the most anticipated releases of the fall for the YA fantasy genre. And I know Janella Angelis, I believe this is a debut, and I think she's based in LA, so it's kind of cool to support a new local author. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the books that I want to read in the coming couple months. Fall, like I said, in California doesn't really start until like November, like Thanksgiving. If you think about it, California has 2 seasons. There's summer and there's winter. And the winter here is just like rain, so. But I'm gonna try and think that there's more variation in the weather out here because I grew up in the East Coast and that's what I like in my life, variation. So yeah, those are the books, and I will probably tell you what I think about all these lovely novels in my various wrap-ups in the coming months, and I'm really excited to do that with you guys. So yeah, I hope you're all having an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.